WCLU news coverage of the 2020 general election is brought to you in part by Glasgow Prescription Center.
The Glasgow Prescription Center is proud to be your whole life pharmacy because our goal is to provide the best pharmaceutical and home medical care to every patient that comes in our door. Log online to glasgowrx.com or call 270-651-8889 to find out how Glasgow Prescription Center can serve you.
Welcome today, Mr. Robert Oliver. We're glad to have you here to talk a little bit about your candidacy for Glasgow City Council. But first, let's hear from you. Talk about who you are.
Well, my name's Robert Oliver. I'm from Glasgow, born and raised here. My family has been here, for generations. I'm the current owner of the Glasgow Prescription Center. I've been in that capacity since about 1999. I came back from pharmacy school and started acquiring certain small percentages of the company, and now I'm the majority stockholder. So Glasgow's my home, has been my whole life.
Good deal. And as a pharmacist, I imagine you're interacting with the community on a daily basis.
I am. Have a lot of connections to the community. I get to see both sides of it. In my business, we serve not only the rich but the poor. So I'm very sensitive to what's going on around me.
Good deal. So talk about it. It sounds like that may be an inspiration for you to run for council, among other things. But talk about why you want to be a city council person.
I think that part of the reason I was the chamber president in 2016, it's funny that was election year, and here we are again in election year. But when I gave my acceptance speech at the annual meeting that year, I was specific about we all, I think, want the same things for the community. It's just how that we are going to get there is what usually divides us. But it seems to, because of social media and other things, programs that usually have a positive impact, sometimes they can have a negative. And so we have become more polarized, it seems, as a community. And having been here, you hate to see that happen. So people need to start stepping forward that can reach across the aisle, that have the ability to think, make decisions that have some experience in decision making, but it's not only that. You need to be able to articulate how that you came to that decision. It's not enough to just say no. I vote no. Well, why? You need to be able to articulate to people and help them understand how you got there. It's not that we want different things. We want a better place for our citizens to live. We want people that are poor to have more. But we need to everyone needs to come together and solve this.
Sure, and so, it's of course, it's, I guess, undisputed that over the last several years, in this community, there has been a divide, like you said, and a polarization, if you will. So talk about sort of your plan maybe to remedy that. You mentioned talking more, or at least verbalizing your decisions, and why, as a person on the council, that you feel like the citizens should know how you're voting, what you're doing, but also what are some of your ideas, not necessarily concrete, but moving forward?
Well, I think that one of the things that because of my exposure from the chamber, there's always been this discussion of you hear people say it all the time, how are we going to get jobs here? We need more jobs. And then we've lost, the old Donnellys, is what I still call it, because I'm old school. But so, what are we going to do? And we have to decide you have a juggernaut in Warren County. That is, they have built the infrastructures that are needed. And sometimes people don't realize it's not enough to say we need industry to come. But before someone's coming, you have to have the infrastructures in place, the electricity, the water. And so sometimes people don't realize the cost that's associated. Where's it going to go? Where's that land going to be? And then there's sometimes the divide, well, that's the city or the county. Well, we need to get past all that. Where are those tax dollars going to go? Sure. We have got to come together, decide what our role is going to be. What do we want to be? What do we want our relationship to be with the surrounding counties? We have some people that I think that are very smart, intelligent, that are capable here. We've just got to get into the game.
So, of course, moving from all of those topics, one other particular topic that we have asked every candidate is to touch base on the electric plant board. But from the standpoint now, with recent court rulings and such, as it revolves around that board, there's been a lot of talk about what seems to be dissolving, whether it's leadership or dissolving relationships. What's your take on the whole issue? And as a council person, how do you think you fit into that realm?
You're asking me to commit political suicide right here. But I would say it like this. Billy Ray has been in the capacity that he's in for 40 years plus. I equate that to being this. DT is an incredibly intelligent individual. I'm not probably on the level that those two are, but if you walk into my business, I'm the man that really knows my business. No matter who you are, I'm the one that knows how that where we purchase from, how much everything costs. I know what the potholes and stuff I need to avoid, so to speak. To think to minimize Billy Ray's position at the plant board is not a good idea, because that's a man that's committed most of his life to that place. Now, you may not agree with him on what he's done or how he does it or how he articulates it, but he's the smartest man in the room when it comes to volumetric rates. DT is an incredibly intelligent individual, and I'm positive that if I walk into DT's business, he's the smartest man in that room. There's no doubt about it. And I was thinking about this the other day. It's like now we have two bulls that are kind of in the pen. And so both of them are incredibly smart. They're having a hard time agreeing on, and it's spilling over into the public. The public has their own ideas. I did not understand volumetric rates myself. And quite honestly, a little over a year ago, I picked up the phone and called and asked to make an appointment with Mr. Ray so he could help me perhaps understand exactly how we got here and what he's talking about. He is so passionate, and I consider myself above average intelligence, but he can talk over my head real quick. When he starts, talking about just volumetric rate, which one are we talking about? Is that where we subsidize, or is that the average, or sometimes I get a little bit confused about it. But I do understand that he is not trying to punish poor people at all. He's just trying to come up with a solution that allows the plant board to remain solvent. They're a nonprofit. They're a municipal utility, but they do have overhead that has to be met. And so I think that in the long term that's what he was looking at.
And I know it's an expansive idea for sure, and your term there, political suicide, of course, that could be interpreted, I guess, someone that doesn't like your ideas, sure, or someone who does, whatever. But the point is that, as a candidate, I think it's a crucial idea to talk about for sure.
I think it is too, but I don't, it's funny, I noticed that there's a group out there, and I'm not going to mention their names, but that was, what about Robert Oliver? Oh, he's friends with Billy Ray. Well, at work, I'm God Family Work. When I took over as the chamber president, I was clear that that's the order that I would serve as the president of the Chamber of Commerce. It'd be in that order, God Family Work. I'm a servant. I'm That's who I'm here. If I take a position on city council, I'm a servant in that order. So under those principles, I should be friends with everyone. I'm not going to exclude anybody. And if you're going to vote for me or not vote for me because I'm friends with the superintendent of a utility, I'm also friends with Ron Hampton. You know, he's DT's attorney. So.
Well, anything that I didn't touch on today that you'd like to mention?
No, I would appreciate everyone's vote. I do think that this election is on all scales and all fronts, whether it's national, state, or local. It's going to be one of the most critical elections in a long, long time. And while I think all of us sometimes feel like we can't do anything on a national level, we can certainly start doing stuff on a local level.
Sure. We appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brennan Crane, News Director for WCLU Radio. Thank you for watching this portion of our 2020 election coverage. Visit us at WCLUradio.com and online at Facebook and Twitter for the latest and breaking news updates.